is Unique Eagles Game Show. And we have series of project, or kind of like series of activities. So the last one we had was a science competition. And then this one, this time around, is going to be a competition, kind of like, it's more like a political forum. So the story behind this forum is we are trying to commiserate with Nigeria, because we are in the month of October, which symbolizes Nigeria Independence Day. So we did it like a day, I think on the 1st of October. So this is like commiserating Nigeria, trying to connect with Nigeria. All of us, we are all Nigerians. So we are trying to connect with our Independence Day. So that is why we got into this political forum. So the forum started with essay writing. So these nice, beautiful, handsome guys and ladies, they brought in their essay trying to state their policy. So they had to position themselves as the president of Nigeria. So you being the president of Nigeria, what will you do? What are the policies you will execute that will make Nigeria great again? That will put Nigeria top there competing with developed countries. So we have a lot of essays from very nice guys, handsome, beautiful guys and ladies. These essays were awesome. But in the end, we're able to pick only 6 essays that were very attractive to the panel. So the panel picked 6 essays. So these 6 essays were those guys that came up online. On the previous episode, we had like a semi-final, would say, they had to present those policies in person. So it was a live policies on Instagram Live. So they presented it in front of the panels, and the panel was able to pick 4 people from them. So these 4 people were the ones that qualified to the finals. And this is the finals we are having today. So they will have to present a new policy to the panel to make sure that they are able to convince the panel on their policy that will make Nigeria great again. So it's going to be 2 formats. 1, they're going to present to the panel. 2, they're going to debate amongst themselves to convince each other on whose policy is the best. So it's going to be a real one today. So guys, stay tuned. We have a lot going on today. Okay, so we're going to start very soon, and we have our panel. I'm going to introduce our panel very soon, and also the contestant. I'm going to introduce them soon. So stay tuned and make sure you don't miss the dial. So at this time, I want to introduce to us our panel members. And the first panel member I will introduce to us today is going to be Engineer Emeka. Hi, Engineer Emeka. So,
Hi. Good
Engineer
evening.
Emeka is joining us from Finland. So he's joining us from Finland. So now we're going to also welcome our second panel today. Engineer Uzo Blaze, thank you for joining us. Let me give us a brief story about Engineer Uzo Blaze. So Engineer Uzo Blaze is joining us from Canada. So he's joining us from Canada, and Engineer Emeka is joining us from Finland. Okay. Now, Engineer Uzo Blaze, I want to thank you very well for really making it up today. It is like, I just can't be grateful enough. It's kind of like an emergency point for him to join us. I just informed him so quickly, he wasn't prepared, but then he quickly had to get everything ready because the engineer engineer Kalu last time fell sick just a few days to this to the final. So we're not able to get him along with us. He's in Germany. He joined us from Germany, but he fell ill. He's going to be watching us here. So quickly, Engineer Uzo just came up quickly to cover up for him. This is awesome. Thank you so much, Engineer Uzo. I appreciate you. Nice. So now I also want to introduce the contestants one after the other. So we see them, and then before we go over with the presentation. Jackson is here. How are you today, Jackson?
I'm fine, sir.
So
Thank
you have
you.
your internet ready. You've got at least the best of your strength. I know you can't really predict Nigerian internet. That's fine. But to the best of your knowledge, you've got everything ready? Okay, good. So in front of you, yes, we have the panelists. We have Engineer Uzo Blaze and also Engineer Emeka. So you're going to present to them. Of course, you're not new to this. You did it already at the previous section. So you're going to present to them your policy, the policy you have that you think can make Nigeria great again. So you have 5 minutes to do that. So try as much as possible to limit your point to that time range. Okay. All right. You've got the floor.
Good day, esteemed panel of judges, the timekeeper, my fellow co-debaters, and all the viewers online, and also to the United Eagles Education and Political Forum for giving me and my fellow co-debaters an opportunity to speak on this vital topic. As a president, what policies will I implement to Nigeria in a position that will compete with developed nations around the world? My name is Captain Taylor John, and I am a electrical and electronics engineering student of San Juan Parker University, Makurdi, commonly known as Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi. Now, imagine a Nigeria where economic diversification and industrialization strive. A Nigeria where education and human capital development are paramount, and a country where infrastructure, innovation, and technology propel us forward. A nation built on the principle of equity, justice, and transparency. As I set out to transform Nigeria today, all inspiration from visionary leaders who reshaped the world, from Mahatma Gandhi's non-violent revolution to Nelson Mandela's fight against apathy and freedom, and to Martin Luther King's Junior Crusade civil rights. We see the courage of courage. We see the power of courageous leadership. Today, as I speak before you, determined, etching my name alongside these legends, committed to writing a new chapter in the Nigerian history with unwavering resolve, I pledge to harness the potential of our people, drive innovation, and foster a culture of excellence. Together as a president, I will build a Nigeria that is bold, resilient, and unstoppable. A country is developed based on several economical, social, and institutional factors. But here are the that determine whether a country is developed or not. We have advanced infrastructure, high level of that is economic indicators, high industrialization and technology, low level of poverty and income, high of human development, and that here is a comprehensive of high policy. Enhanced education development. Now, the United Fund as driving 8.3 million out of school dropouts in Nigeria. That education. Now, Mandela has once said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And Benjamin Franklin said that the best investment in knowledge is the best thing that brings the best interest. Also, Martin Luther King said that the purpose of education is to teach people to think intensively. Now, as a president of Nigeria, I will foster a quality education by promoting STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics in our educational curriculum, just like South Korea have done. Now, also, I will adapt a curriculum system that provides problem-solving, critical thinking, and technological integration, just like one of the best countries in the world have done, which is Finland, which are among the best in the educational sector. Also, I will provide an enabling system for monitoring and evaluating the educational system to decrease 18.3 million out of school dropouts in children. I will make sure as our young children are coming up, they are being evaluated and make that they attain this formal education, not just the formal education, but the education that train their mindset, because the mindset of a man controls a man. So I will enable environment that these children, as they are coming up, they are trained as entrepreneurs, they are trained as innovators, and also I will of them were killed. That same 2021, March thereabout, 118 schools in the north were.
Okay. All right. So, Jackson, I think the network is really not working well for you today. I don't know why, but it worked. So sorry. Jackson was not able to. I think he made up a little bit of his time, and then the panelists got some points he was trying to lay out during.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, good. So Jackson, you can hear them from here. I believe you can see them. But meanwhile, I don't know if they have any question for you, but maybe we're going to discuss more about that in the debate. Let's see that. But for now, let's walk to the second person. Let's get the second contestant ready.
Can I?
Yes.
Can I?
Is Jackson still there? Okay. So let's get the next person. All right. We have Giovanni. Giovanni, please help us. Okay, because so far the network has been an issue. So help us with your own network, please. Let's have at least one day that will flow well, one topic, please. All right, Giovanni, you're welcome. Give us what you have today.
Okay, I want to use this singular honor to say a very big thank you to our pioneers, Engineer Uzo and Engineer Mika from whatever country you are hearing me from, and also the moderator himself, Sir Emmanuel Ongotukundukodima, for having me. My policy still remains the same, although I'll be adding a little touch to all four of my policies, which are implementing infrastructure and technology development, diversification and industrialization, education and skills acquisition, good government and corruption. Implementing infrastructure and technology development. Aside the last three infrastructural development I made mention of during our last section, which are upgrading our transport system, upgrading our network connectivity, and also investing in renewable and non-renewable energies. I found out that our country, Nigeria, can still be recognized as one of the most developed countries of this century by advancing our healthcare system. Developing Nigeria's healthcare system requires a multidimensional approach. As the president, I would strengthen primary healthcare system and improve healthcare infrastructure, such as our pharmacies and the clinic, for quicker access to medical help. I would also enhance human resources, such as training and recruiting students whose 4 years course of study are medical related. And then I'll implement the National Health Insurance Scheme. I will go beyond that to make sure our country achieves the universal health coverage. I would establish telemedicine and e-health services and also develop advanced medical research team to help strengthen our healthcare system. 2, diversification and industrialization. During our last section, Engineer Emeka asked me a question which also inspired me to conduct further research on Nigeria's potential for economic diversification through agriculture. The question was, why do I think agriculture should be our next best way to diversify? Today, I'll be expatiating on that through the word agriculture for Nigeria's economic development. Agriculture can actually boost our country's economic growth through food security. Increasing of food production to meet domestic demands would be made easier with agriculture. It would also bring up employment for our community, rural communities, individuals, and also farmers at large. Agriculture would also provide input for industrial processes and also reduce our overdependency on oil exploitation. It would also reduce poverty by improving livelihood and generating finance for the country, and then bring in good health and nutrition by improving food quality and availability. 3, education and skills acquisition. During our last section, I could remember vividly talking about enhancing our educational system and focusing it on the STEM, STEM, to aid lucrative learning and also advanced basic knowledge. Today, I'll be talking about promoting skills and acquisition in Nigeria. Skills and acquisition is one thing I would love to promote, even giving the president of the country, by implementing the skills and acquisition initiative, such as the apprenticeship scheme, the mentorship program, and vocational training centers to aid the growth of our efficiency and productivity in Nigeria and also boost our competitiveness in the global market. Skills like crafting, fashion and design, machine and AI learning. 4, good government and corruption. During our last section, I talked about fighting against corruption through the anti-corruption agencies and the judiciary, such as the ICPC, the EFCC, CCB, and many more. Today, I'll be talking about improving good government itself in Nigeria. Nigerian government system has faced through significant challenges in terms of stability and responsiveness. As the president, I will improve good government through transparency and accountability in government by building trust within citizens, encouraging popular participation in government, and also fostering international cooperation. I would also improve public financial management. I would always say this: no country can develop in isolation. So as the president, I will strengthen other regional tasks such as the ECOWAS and the AU agenda to help support the growth of Nigeria. With these few policies of mine, I believe Nigeria will not only become the giant of Africa, but alongside being the giant of Africa, we would still be recognized as one of the most advanced and developed countries in the 21st century. Thank you.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much, Giovanni. That's nice. Let me leave the panel to take it from there, whatever question they may have for you.
Hello, Giovanni. Nice to hear from you.
Thank you very much. Nice hearing from you too.
All right, so I just have one question for you as regards to the health system.
Okay.
Yeah, so looking at the common trend of professionals, medical professionals migrating out of the country, what do you think, what is your plan to recruit and retain skilled professionals?
Okay. To retain skills professionals, we have a lot of students, which comes the enhancing of recruiting of students and also training them. Whereby we have students in Nigeria which have finished their higher institution, and also these people are very smart. I mean, very smart, yet they don't have what to use to or enough finance to start up their own healthcare system. Okay, as a president, I would empower them by making sure these students are being trained to the maximum standard, and I would give them all the facilities that they deserve for their healthcare system to work effectively, so that our citizens can no longer be traveling outside to get other basic help that they need medically. But here in Nigeria, they will have to do everything by themselves.
Okay, well,
Thank you so
thank you.
much, Giovanni. Engineer Uzo, is that it for him?
I'm not stressing. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Engineer Emeka, you have anything for him?
When Uzo Blaze was talking, he was pretty much or asking this question. He was asking about those like the already trained persons who are leaving, pretty much, and not so pretty much about the Japa syndrome, how to retain the people who are leaving, right? Is it enough that when you train them, you can as well tell them to sit back and not search for greener pastures elsewhere? But that's when you pretty much when you talked about when you talked about diversification and industrialization, I guess you stuck to agriculture. I don't know if it's because in the previous discussion you had stated other stuff, or you just feel like agriculture is the aside from oil, the next is agriculture, and maybe not others. But would there be other parts that we need to diversify into aside from agriculture? It's a valid point. Agriculture is very important for everyone. A person of the think, right? So in that sense, I believe that agriculture is quite important for at least for Nigeria's growth. Then you talked about vocational training centers. At what point of the educational system would you like to infuse the vocational training, or it may not require like prior training? Like, would you want to design the vocational training centers to be like, even if you didn't attend school, like you can just go to the vocational training centers, or you need a certain level of education for you to move into the vocational training center? Then I'll leave it at that for now. If I have any questions for you, I could ask at the end. But I think those are a couple of questions that I have for now. But
Okay.
before I allow you to speak, I would also like to say that I am pleased with the fact that you stuck to time and you were clear with your points. You pretty much did not sink into the preface for so long. You were just quite direct with the points. I just hope that other contestants will also do the same. But I could also comment slightly on the essay. I guess since you sent the essays in earlier, I think it's also very important that you revisit or revise the essays that you send out for such competitions. At least read it through to ensure that all the I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed. All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
So I think he has a question for you, right? Giovanni, you heard his question? I think he has a question, I guess. I don't know.
No, I didn't get his question.
Okay. Okay. So, engineer, can you recap a little bit of the question for him?
You didn't get my question. Well, okay, I think I need to be quite clear. My question is this: that so I understand that this is an upgrade from the last time. So is agriculture the only option to diversification at the moment? Are there other options to diversification? At what level of education are you intending to bring in the vocational training centers? Are you thinking of just vocational training centers for anybody, or you need a certain level of education for you to be able to get into the vocational training center? Um, well, I'll say that's it for now. If I missed something, I'll talk about
Okay.
it later.
Okay. For now, I would say I choose agriculture for our next best way to diversify because looking at our country's economic growth, I found out that Nigerians' land is very productive, and I mean very, very productive in the sense that whatever we plant yield of food instantaneously and continuously. So I would say planting and harvesting of food to sell or to export outside would bring in much income, and also it would also boost our rate of competition in the global market, whereby other countries would also want to get our products, our agricultural products. Don't get me mistaken, there are other ways to diversify, but in this economy which we are facing right now, I believe agriculture will stand out to be the best for now. And then for the vocational training centers, there, I would say everything in life matters with your brain, with the way you can process your brain. So I would say I would venture a vocational training centers for, should I say, not professionals, but at least people who have gained certain academic wisdom to use this opportunity to foster into skills and acquisition. Now, the skills and acquisition which I'm talking about is not just within Nigeria. It's actually going to propel us outside the world, and it's going to face us, it's going to reflect us as one of the best countries in the world. So imagine Nigeria having a vocational training center where graduates who are sound academically can come and learn all sorts of skills and also go outside to implement those skills. I mean, establish those skills. It would give Nigeria a standing point to become one of the most advanced countries. I mean, other countries would also love that and would want to face into that pattern. And aside that, vocational training centers would also be placed in Nigeria where the low-level educationalists would also join. I mean, people who don't really have much in education, but they can actually do these skills. They have the required energy to do these skills. So I would venture that, and also, but my main aim is for the educationalists, the people who have this wisdom and that can stand out and also maximize their education in these skills to bring up, yield up good results for our country's growth and economic development. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Giovanni. Thank you for your points. I'll be taking you out while I bring the next person in.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Giovanni.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so let's get the next person. Hopefully, their network will be as good as Giovanni. I think Giovanni is also in Nigeria. So I wonder why Giovanni, I think you have to introduce your network to them after this show, please. Let them start using your network. Maybe that may help next time. Okay, Jackson, please, because of network, be fast, okay? Before it turns again. Now that they allowed you, please make good use of it. So they ask you some question. just 1 minute to summarize your answer or your question, rather, or your statement or your policy. 1 minute, so they can ask you and so we can go over. Let's know you're done with your own side. Okay, so please 1 minute. Please stick to 1 minute.
Okay, finally, curbing of brain drain. Now, to promote standard educational quality and human capital development, I will curb brain drain. Now, this is what the China did. China and India, this is what they did. When they were trying to grow their economy, they sent various professionals to America to go and study how they diversify their economy and come back and inculcate that to national development. Now, as a president, that is what I will do in order to curb brain drain. Our professionals, I will send them out of the country, or even if it is training, I will train them, then send them outside the country to what? To come back. You know that in Nigeria, various professionals do go outside the country because of what? To go and exploit. And we have 60% of high brain drain sector, which 40% is from the healthcare system. So as a Nigerian, as a president, I will create an enabling environment to ensure that these our professionals are what? Have seen the need to come back to a country to contribute to national development. Policy number 2 is improve infrastructure, reform energy sector. Now, I will invest in the electricity sector. Also, transportation infrastructure. I will also invest in the transportation infrastructure, digital infrastructure. As the 21st century, we know that all our world is controlled by economy of digitalization. So just like China did. So I, as a president, we invest in high digital infrastructure across all the sectors, be it security, be it education, be it economic growth, and agricultural infrastructure. Agriculture is one among the sectors that competes with our oil dependency. Now, investing in agriculture will reduce our oil dependency because Nigeria is very blessed with arable land. Now, in Benue State, my state has the highest producer of yam in the whole world. Now, diversifying our economy into agriculture will help create jobs, promote export, increase our GDP, increase our revenue system, and then boost our economic growth. Also, rural infrastructure. I will focus on rural development by providing good roads, just as I've said, electricity, water supply to good roads to enable agricultural activities in the rural and eliminate urban mitigation. Policy number 3 is good governance. When I was in
Jackson, because of time and because of the network, now that network is only allowing us a little bit, let's save it, okay? So you have more points to show by the time you're debating with your fellow contestants, okay? So for now, let's allow the panelists to ask you questions before the network goes off again, because the network is not friendly today. You can witness that. Okay, so leave the floor for the panel to ask you questions. Maybe that may help you give more of your points. So over to the panel, please. Do you have any question for him or anything?
Yeah, I can start quickly. First, I would like to thank you at least for being quite resilient and requesting that you would like to come back to finish your points. Your points are valid. However, well, before I start with my however, I would still say that the points are valid. The essay written was well constructed. However, I kind of feel like at the start or your initial start, you were dwelling so much on I would say preface or prefix to explain to us where you are going to before actually jumping into the key points of things that you would do if you were president or how to pretty much develop the economy. The points that you have mentioned, STEM, that was a very valid point, especially to grow the educational system. But I kind of feel like I did not really get the juice there. Like when you talk about, yeah, I'm going to set up digital infrastructure. I think the only
yes,
place you buttressed clearly was agriculture, and that was where you buttressed clearly. But yeah, you want to set up the digital infrastructure. You're going to get rid of brain drain. You know, how do you? Is it? Are you using all this to get rid of brain drain, or is it that the educational system you're setting up will get rid of brain drain? I kind of feel like I did not get the connection between between the topic and the juice within the topic. That's the content of what you intend to do.
Okay.
I don't know if you
Thank you
I don't know
so
if you
much.
let me clear. So what
Yeah, I
how do you
understand.
intend to curb brain drain? Or is it like how do you intend to curb brain drain? How do you what's going to be the benefits of having or how efficient or what is the extent of efficiency that we intend to get when you um, put Nigeria with, or when we start to have digital infrastructure in Nigeria, how is that going to help us? There's going to be transport infrastructure, okay. So what happens afterwards? So these are pretty much my questions. I need clarification. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Engineer Mecca Mecca from Finland. Yeah, okay, now talking about if you, I don't know whether you're listening to me, so I can, okay,
We
okay,
can hear you.
okay, talking, okay, okay. Now, when I started my point, my first, due to network, my first point was enhance education and human capital development. The cooking of brain drain comes under after education is the human capital development. Now, I mentioned digitalization because that was part of structure. Digitalization was part of structure. And two, I said improve infrastructure. Because I was given 1 minute to round up, I just had to mention it because if I go to explain it, I will not be able to maybe finish up with my other additional points I had to say. Now, coping of children, I was we have 60% rate of brain in Nigeria, and it's 40% the healthcare system. While the rest of the 20% go to engineering sector, computer and IT system. Now, as a president in Nigeria, I will brain in the sense that I will stabilize our economy. Stabilizing our economy, I have provided infrastructure, this vocational training, I have invested in this. I have created an enabling environment for these professionals themselves see the beauty in their country and come back, either coming back or staying to put to work national development in their country. So, coping of brain drain, I will maybe even if they don't want to come back, I will propose that please, you know this thing, I have trained my country to a certain level. Come to your country and improve the national development. Forget about the white. This is our Nigeria. We are parents of Africa. Come back, improve your own country, especially to help doctor as the doctoring sector. It will help my and our healthcare system among the infrastructure I was supposed to during my debate. Now, a digitalized economy. As I was saying, this is how China did. China are mostly and okay, the Asian tigers. You have seen what with digitalization. Now, digitalization is that I will create digital infrastructure across all the sectors, be it security. Like now, I entered into one challenge where they were talking about sustainable urban future, and one of the initiative I had was okay, why not I mitigate the issue of security in our urban cities by creating a device that with the device by one click you will be able to what notify the local security agency and they will come to your school. Yes, digital infrastructure. I will be able to digitalize our infrastructure, be it security, be it education, in the sense that I will promote STEM. I will sure that in our schools, if we harness the high level infrastructure just like we can have done, and then digital infrastructure in the manufacturing industry, be it in agriculture, I will promote digital infrastructure. Providing digital infrastructure, I don't just promote the initiative. The countries that are doing well doing it. Yes, I will go and study their system. Okay, this is what they did. China is the largest producer of rice in the world. How do they come about it? We are patronizing foreign rice instead of our own rice because of the low quality. Yes, because of the infrastructure are very poor. Yes, then I will enable to utilize the economy through infrastructure, and I am able to answer your question, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Jackson. I appreciate that. At least I think the network was a little bit favorable, a little bit, like a little compared to your previous appearance. So good. I'm so happy you were able to bring out your mind today. Engineer Uzo, do you have anything for him?
Hey, yeah, let me just go straight to the question anyway. Thank you for making out time with your essay and standing on my co-panelist on his comments as regards to your essay. So I just have one question for you as regards to the agricultural sector. I was a little bit smiling based on just on a lighter note. I just liked your whole point, sounding more like a Nigerian politician already. But straight to the question anyway. So based on the agricultural sector, what role would technology play in modernizing the agricultural sector in Nigeria? And how effective can you make it to reach rural areas? So to reiterate the question again, what role can technology play in the agricultural sector, and how will you make it to reach the rural areas?
Okay. Now, the role technology can play in the agricultural sector is by, as I've said, as a president, instead of brain drain, I know what China did. We are not prioritizing our product, our agricultural product, because of low level of how it is being produced. Yes, it is not the fault of Nigerians. You cannot blame them. But this is how this can work. And that is a very good question. Modernizing our agricultural sector. When it modernized, is providing the necessary infrastructure. Providing the necessary infrastructure is what infrastructure is needed to make this produce very good, very clean. Oh, it is talking about rice now. What level of infrastructure do we need to make our rice as good as those we export in our country? It's simply by what? Researching about these technological devices. We can partner with China. How have you been doing this? Please help us with this initiative. We will buy these machines from you. We will engage them, and we will be able to expand at least to the major states. We know that they are major producer of these viral exports and agricultural these things activities we have. So I will do what? Evaluate from other states of the country, and then adopting their nature to our own country, providing infrastructure, research there. How do you make rice good? How do you make your cash crop good? How do you make tomato industry bloom? It's just simply research and innovative and then hard work. So this is where I'll be able to remember. And also I will budget good, pick good budget on it. Now, to be able to help be able to help rural development with
Okay, Jackson, you did great. Engineer Uzo, I guess he gave you the answer to some of your question. Jackson, you're gonna express more during the debate time. Okay, let's see how we can catch up with the other guys. Okay, thank you so much, Jackson. I know you've got a lot to deliver. It's fine, Jackson. I understand that, but network is not working well for you. I understand that. All right, let's check up with the other guys and see. Let's get them on.
Good day, everyone, the panel of judges, the distinguished viewers, and my co-debaters. My name is Shekina Oruche, and I stand before you all today to prove that I'm the best presidential candidate, and I have the best policies to make Nigeria great again, where she can grow to compete with other developed countries around the world. There's a popular adage, the popular African adage that I'm sure we're all familiar with, and it states, that if you take a stick out of a broom, it's easy to break, but if it's together, it is hard to break. And that brings me to my first point, which is unity. Unity is one important factor in Nigeria, and unity has been neglected in the past years. And in the past years, Nigeria has suffered from cultural differences, and this has slowed our growth as a nation. I'd love to tell the story of an event that happened a few months back. So we're given a project to work on something that has to do with pharmacology, right? So this guy started lamenting and he started complaining, sorry, rather, that he doesn't have money to contribute for the project, and he wished that Peter Obi, who is an Igbo man, won the election. So another guy said that he's grateful that Peter Obi did not win the election because Peter Obi would save our money and not spend it because it's in the Igbo nature to save and not spend. So there was diverse and there was like different arguments from here and there, and um we're not able to finish our project, and it was just a bad project at the end of the day because of that argument. So the question is, sorry, please, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Just
Go ahead.
go on. Yeah, can you hear me clearly?
Very well, very well.
Okay. So the question remains what I'm going to do as president to make sure that to bridge the gap between Nigerians and to just see ourselves as brothers and sisters. So the first thing I would do is to merge governors from different states. For example, I'm going to merge governors from the north and the south together so that they can work towards solving a particular problem that they face in their community. For example, agriculture or food security. So the governors of that's for example Imo State and Kogi State, if they are neighbors, they can work together to solve food security, to solve electricity, the problems surrounding electricity and education. So this will create a mindset that um, we are working to develop Nigeria, and we should not see ourselves as competitors. The second thing I would do to make sure that Nigeria live in unity is to create a cultural exchange program. And this cultural exchange program will be where people from the south who can come to the north, people from the east can come to the west, and learn about their culture, see them interact, bring their culture to that particular state they are going to, or that particular region they are going to learn and also gain knowledge about the culture. And second thing I'm going to do is to have a national cultural appreciation day where where people and cultures from around Nigeria will come to the Federal Capital Territory to celebrate their culture and just show how beautiful the Nigerian culture is. And with this, we'll be able to gain a developed Nigeria, and in Nigeria where we can live in peace and unity. So the second thing I'm going to do as the president of Nigeria is to clear, if not all, but part of the debt that Nigeria owes. So Nigeria currently owes over 87 trillion naira debt, and in the history of Nigeria, no president has actually thought of clearing the debt that Nigeria owes. We just keep borrowing and borrowing and borrowing, and no one pays the debt. So during my own time, I know there is no way I'll be able to pay off 87 trillion naira in 4 years or probably in 8 years. So I'm just going to pay up some of this and just leaving a legacy or leaving a mindset to my predecessors that we should pay up our debt and we should stop borrowing. And I know you'll be asking, how am I going to pay up the debt? How am I going to generate revenues to pay up the debt? And this is what I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is to cut the cost of governance. So we're going to cut off expensive foreign travel. We're going to cut off excessive spending in governance, and we're going to also cut off unnecessary political positions. And the second thing we're going to do is to invest in agriculture, invest in other things outside our oil. I and my management will create let's say a group or an administrator or administration where we would search for other natural resources. They'll be focused on searching for other natural resources or discovering other natural resources that we haven't found in Nigeria. Now, talking about generating income, one of the best things that is celebrated, one of the biggest things that is celebrated in the world is sport. So, what I'm going to do as a president or as the president of Nigeria is to invest in sport. Like, I mean, we have things like the AFCON, the Olympics, and the FIFA World Cup. And just imagine Nigeria hosting FIFA World Cup, or just imagine Nigeria hosting the AFCON. I'm sure we'll see how our economy will grow. So one thing I'm going to do as president, one thing I'm going to do as president is to create or to build the biggest stadium just to get attraction from foreign countries. I'm going to bring a big stadium and the finest stadium that the world has never seen, so that we can be able to host international events like the AFCON, the Olympics, and the FIFA. And this would and okay, I also want to make mention that I would introduce sports from the primary to tertiary level. So one thing I noticed, and I've also done my research, I even have people who are close to me that are very talented and they can literally play any kind of sport, but they do not have the opportunity to do so. And I'm sure that we've discussed this yesterday. Um, there is no opportunity in Nigeria. That's why we have people like Anthony Joshua, Bam Adebayo, Ade Tokumbo, Onyeka Okongu. All these people are great players, but they are not playing for Nigeria. We have people like Palu Ezin that played for the Olympics, and now she's playing for America. Why? Because there is no much opportunity for her to show her talent or showcase her talent here in Nigeria. So we're going to be giving waivers to wealthy people in Nigeria to buy clubs in Nigeria, invest in them, and so that these people will be interested in playing sports in Nigeria. And this is how the sporting system is going to grow. So my aim and my goal as president is to make Nigeria the next and the best sporting hub in the world. So if you think of sports, you think of Nigeria. So I want I want all the sports under the sun to be played in Nigeria, so that so hopefully when we host a program like the AFCON or probably the FIFA World Cup, we'll have people from different countries bringing their currency to Nigeria to spend. And our economy is definitely going to grow with this because sport is celebrated everywhere. The second thing I'm going to do is to invest so much in making Nigeria a tourist center. So tourism is also the second most celebrated thing in the world. Like, I mean, during Christmas, during um some holidays, people travel outside the country just to see the wonders of the earth, and people literally spend millions just to see the wonders of the earth. And basically, we have so many wonders in Nigeria that basically the world needs to see and the world needs to know about. We have the Waki Warm spring, we have the Awon Cave, we have the Abu Kim waterfall. We have this stuff where clean water and hot water and cold water are in the same place, but they cannot mix together. I mean, if we invest in this place and make Nigeria like a good tourist center, we have people bringing their currency to spend here in Nigeria. And the fourth thing I'm going to do is to invest so much in security. I mean, we cannot do all of these things when Nigeria is still facing security problems. So I'm going to partner with people with technology agencies, and also I'm also going to invest in young people. Like, I know so many of my friends that can literally track where you are right now. I'm just giving an example. So there are young people in Nigeria that can literally track where you are right now, but they don't have the opportunity to showcase their talent. So one thing I'm going to do in Nigeria is to look for this talent, invest in them, and see how we can use technology to curb insecurity. And I hope that with this viewpoint of mine, I'll be able to convince you that I'm the best presidential candidate to make Nigeria great again. Thank you.
Wow. because of the fear of Instagram, I can't use Instagram clapping. So let me clap for you guys. You guys are doing great. So that's awesome. So I want to leave the panel to take it from there.
Okay.
Okay. Hello, Shekina. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello.
I'm good. Okay. Let me just pull up your essay here, and nice points anyway. Yeah, I was caught in between your explanation and the rest. I was just smiling. Yeah, nice points and nice explanation of your points. Yeah. So I just have one question for you as regards to the sports. You
Okay.
spent more time on the sports, and yeah, I just want to ask you a question. So yeah, like you mentioned that yes, we have been able to Nigeria has been able to host international events like the AFCON, and also participated actively, and we are yet to host events like Olympics and FIFA. Yeah. So as a president of the country, Nigeria, can you be more specific about the strategies that you implement to attract such international activity to the country?
Okay, so the first thing I said was I was going to create the biggest and world finest stadium in Nigeria. So the world biggest and world finest stadium will be located in Nigeria. The second thing I'm going to do is to introduce sports from the primary to tertiary level. That means every school in Nigeria, both public and private, will have a field where different kind of sports will be played, and we're also going to have like foundation to train young people and to just introduce them and just to make them interested in sports. So with this, if and with this, if the AFCON, I think there's something they used to do to, I don't know if they're going to write a request to the AFCON or to the FIFA World Cup or so we'll write to them that we have all it takes to host the AFCON, and we have great players. And just to show my investment, I'm going to invest so much in sports to gain recognition from this international body.
Thank you so much. Mr. Blaze, what do you think?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Engineer Mika, do you have any question for her before we move on?
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm checking out
Thank
for this
you.
good, I would say, debate. One couple of things. I like the fact that you think out of the box. I think the last time I don't remember what you introduced, but I know there was something that was quite different from the others that was introduced. So I would say thumbs up. Uh, but I would say some kind of fact check is needed, right? You said no president has reduced Nigeria's debt drastically. I think I would say that's not correct. Olusegun Obasanjo actually reduced Nigeria's debt to almost nothing. He pretty much, people will even say he cleared the debt if you compare it. Well, it's not only because he paid it, it was also that some amount was negotiated and lobbied properly such that it was cleared off. But as I like I said, that you think out of the box. I like the fact that you want to input quite a lot to sports, and that's really nice. That's another way for us to directly or indirectly grow our economy, right? Do I really have it's very like a stringent question for you at the moment? I would say no, because in this phase, I would think you have clarified sort of my open ends compared to what you discussed the last time. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much. Chekina, so we don't have any question for you right now, so take it off. So get ready. Let me get off the next person. Hopefully, network is good for Juliana. Thank you, Chekina. Okay, perfect. All right, Juliana, finally we got you. It was a tough battle bringing you up here. Oh my God, please remain where you are. Don't move, please. Don't move your phone. Don't move your position. Please, I beg of you. All right,
All
Juliana,
right,
take the
sir.
floor. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Good day, everyone. Panel of judges, Africa, timekeeper, my co-debaters. My name is Juliana. I stand before you to defend my policy, which says if you are president of Nigeria, what policy are you going to implement to make Nigeria compete with global economy? During our last presentation, I make mention of some policies which I like to add to it. The first policy I would like to talk about is education and human capital development. As the president of Nigeria, I will make sure that people have free access to education. As we all know that education is the best legacy. We can't do anything without education. Though we can do some things without education, but education helps in order to improve some certain things. So I would give free access to people or children. I'll give free education irrespective of their social background. And another thing I would like to add is I will establish tech and innovation tubes to all 6 geographical zones in Nigeria where young adults can have access to resources, have access to mentorship, and have access to capital in order to fund their tech or establish their tech business. Another policy I would like to implement is agricultural transformation. Firstly, I will try to modernize our agricultural infrastructure, whereby bringing in new infrastructure for the agricultural levy. And another thing is access to capital. As the president of this nation, I will make sure, or I will try to establish an agricultural bank whereby farmers can have access to low loans, have access to loans, yes, in which they can use to improve their agricultural productivity. And another policy I would like to implement is transparency in government contracts. Yes, I will make sure I implement digital platform whereby citizens can track government spending. That is how citizens can monitor how the government how the government are spending the country money in order to avoid waste and eliminate inflated in order to avoid wastage and eliminate inflated contracts and to boost our public confidence. So these are the policies I believe I'm going to implement as a president of our nation. And I believe with this policy will not only strengthen Nigeria internally, but we also position our country in order to compete globally with other countries in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juliana. You're straight to the point. I believe you added the information to the previous one. That's why you're kind of like a little bit shorter than the time. But thank you because you really meet up with the time and you bought us a lot of time. Thank you. So I'm going to leave the panel to take it from here if they have any question for you or anything else.
All right, sir.
Hello, Juliana. Nice to see you again.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, so nice points anyway. I might not say much about your essay, but I could say that you captured several points and you did justice to explaining them as you could. I'm tempted to ask you 2 questions, but same just keep it at 1 for now. Yeah,
All right,
so
sir.
it just boils down to the social welfare aspects whereby you spoke more about let us go straight to the point. So
Okay.
what program, if you want to be specific, what program as a president can you implement to ensure that women and youths have equal access to opportunities when it comes to education, entrepreneurship, and education and entrepreneurship, as a president? what program can you implement to ensure that women and youths they have access to education and entrepreneurship? Yeah.
Okay, so as a president of Nigeria, I would say I can, let's say, skills and acquisition, whereby women and youths they can be involved in learning one skills or the other. For example, tailoring skills. We have so many skills in which they can venture into in order to have access. As a woman and as a youth, so they can venture into skills, that is skills and acquisition. So I believe with that, that is the policy I can do as a president.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Engineer Emeka, do you have any question for her?
I think this is a quick one because a lot of people had spoken about corruption and governance and the rest of them. Could you buttress further how, um, well, how does your how would your civil service reforms make or get or reduce or get rid of anti-corruption and or yeah, get rid of anti-corruption basically in Nigeria. How do you expect that to work, or how would that work?
Okay, it's just like what I've mentioned earlier. I said as a president, I will make sure I implement digital platforms whereby citizens can have access in order to track the government operation, that is, in order to track how government are spending the country money. There will be a digital platform set aside which citizens can have access to in order to track the government's spending in our country.
Just to add to that, at the moment, I would say digitally, I can look up the Nigerian budget, for instance, right? Um, I can look it up and I would see where every money is budgeted to. Even the ludicrous ones, we could also still see them there. Now my question is this: that is this like, are you going to? Is it such that you're going to make the audit reports public information as such? And if you're going to do that, or if you want to make every expense of the government public, that means you want to lead a transparent government, right? But the truth about it is that generally in governance, um, government cannot be fully transparent. I may be wrong, but no matter how developed the country is, in governance, government cannot be truly transparent. A lot of countries say they
Yes.
have transparent government, but government has never ever been fully transparent. So would yours be
Yes.
very different, or
I will
are we
only
going to be able?
try.
You will only try. Okay,
Yes, sir.
I'll just
Because
I'll
in this
just stop at that for now.
country, you just said the grace of God. So
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay. Thank
so
you.
all right, great. Thank you so much, engineer, and thank you so much, the four of you. You guys did absolutely great. Even with the network, you guys still stood firm and still presented your policy. I'm so happy, and we are so proud of you guys. Okay, so now
thank you, sir.
we'll be taking you guys off, and you'll be back in 3 minutes. So you have 3 minutes to write your questions for your for the other contestants. Remember how we did it the other time? So you're going to have
Okay.
questions for the three of them, the three other contestants. So by the time we bring you up again, it's going to be a debate between you and your fellow contestants, okay? So just like we did it the other time. So now I'm going to give you guys 3 minutes. We'll go off, take a break and all that. So we'll be back in 3 minutes or maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. So I'll bring you guys up. So by the time you're done, by the time in 3 minutes time, send me a request, okay? Send me a request. The four of you should send me a request, and then I'm going to bring you guys up gradually. So for now, let's go take a break. We want to be back in 5 minutes maximum for the debates. So the panel is going to be on the background, with us. One of them will be with us, and the other one person will be with the other one. So we're going to share the panel, okay? Because Instagram only allows 4 people. So, but fine, we're going to see you guys in 5 minutes.